Recording in progress.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, good morning, everybody. I thought I would come on and welcome you to the possibility of stepping into the Creative Awakenings Facilitator Training. So I know I've been kind of mysterious about it, building the page, doing all these different things, but I'm ready to launch. I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm so excited. This is going to be really fun, really enlivening, and more important, our world needs this so much right now. So much has changed since I first started doing expressive arts therapy and expressive arts coaching. In the beginning, there was no research, there was no evidence base, there was none of that. We just did it. There were a couple of pioneers, and in those early days, we just knew that, that saying, art saves lives. We knew it. Um, but now, the really awesome thing is there is so much research, there is so much evidence base, there is so much information about how a simple act of 10 minutes a day in your sketchbook can, you know, reduce your stress, reduce your trauma, connect you to your inner world, your inner language, your inner self. And so, with the amount of stress happening right now in our world and in the United States, with so much uncertainty, um, I I really want to create what I'm calling a creative evolution. Is the word revolution right now. It's just, I'm not up for that. But I am up for a creative evolution where each of you takes what you bring in your heart and your soul into your communities to help people in this super, super stressful time. Okay, so that's that. As a lot of you who know me for a long time know, I am not the marketer. I am not the IG girl. I am not the, it's like I don't have the bandwidth, the capacity, or maybe even the energy to do that. I'm kind of more of a, if you like it, come play with me. Um, but yeah, like you need to know who I am and you need to know if you can trust me. So I've got tons of take two testimonials, um, I've got people who are already trained and out there doing their thing, some in the UK, some in Virginia, some in Chicago. Um, I took University of Denver students, master's in clinical social work students through uh, three level ones, and those amazing humans are out there in their community, most here in Colorado, doing their thing. And yes, they're therapists, but my intention with this 2025 training is that you don't have to be a therapist to do this work. And I know I will be like taken to task for that. But in the early days of expressive arts therapy, the roots of our tradition were artists who heal, healers who art, therapists who want to bring the creative process into it, therapists who were already artists like me doing crazy things, like using creativity as a language for the unspoken, right? And so the first part of this training in the level one, the first 4 weeks, 8 weeks are really about you bringing this process into your own life because we need to walk our talk, right? And what I have found is that even folks who believe that they're creative, when they walk through this process, are stunned to realize their own internal blocks, their own internal, I'm really not an artist. I don't know how to do this. So, what happens in that process is that you are then experiencing in your own way what your clients and your groups are going to experience. The most common mantra I hear or core belief I hear from people who come to work with me for the first time, whether in a group or a community setting or whatever it is, but Sheri, I'm not an artist. And then the idea of giving permission to reclaim that part of themselves has really kept me in this for 35 plus years. And even as late as, like even as early as this month still, because it's December 27, our Art, Healing, and Hope had quite a few new folks, which doesn't always happen because it sells out so quickly. Um, but we had quite a few new folks. And one of the women kind of came in with a, like, whoop, and I was like, whoa. So, with that, I kind of just do the Aikido of bending and realizing that is really just fear, like fear that I'm not good enough, fear that, oh, I might not be okay with all these other people who seem to know each other and have been coming for a long time, and I don't really know what I'm doing. And then with that love and support and nurturing that says, it's okay. You're right on time. You're here now. Here's how it works. Here's all the colors. Here's the big, like working at the Art Fest is like a big candy store. And there's really no attachment to the outcome in this class. This is a heartfelt expression of what's inside of you. And so, I don't know, 3/4 of the way through the class, I hear, I just love this. I'm coming back if I can get in every single month. And in that moment, I realized again, but like it really came in this time, like it's not about what we create, it's about the community we are creating. I'm going to say that again. It's not about what we create. It's about the community we are creating. And so that is my dream and my vision for the 2025 Facilitator Training, which I have named the Wisdom Trainings because I'll be turning about 65 in almost a week. And it's time to pass it down. I want all of you out there carrying the torches of creative awakenings and bringing your own expression to what I share with you. Like, take the basics, take the learning, take the wisdom, and then make it yours. Bring what you want into it. Um, okay, so that's that. Some of you have met me officially on the meet and greet. That's great. But today I kind of want to share with you some, like, just some tabletop while I talk. Okay. So this is literally the original Book of Dreams journal. This journal is what I had to submit to my publisher after I got the contract from Northlight Books and my beautiful sister forever, Tanya Jenny, who was editor there at that time. Now, again, I never thought I was going to be a published author. That was not in my like, oh yeah, one day I'm going to be an author because I'm totally dyslexic, have ADHD, and that was just not something that I thought was ever going to happen. And this is why we do this, because creating intentions and then seeing what manifests when it gets hard, when life gets hard. I have, that, see that little straw crate right there? I have crates in my shed of journals that tell a life story, my life story. And when things get hard, I can look back and like go, oh my gosh, shift happens. So this is the original Book of Dreams, and uh, I had to create this, which is in a way that I do not traditionally work. Let me bring this down a little bit more. Whoops, sorry, Natalie fell over. Okay. Um, so I had to create this in a way that I don't traditionally work, which was to keep track of every single color that I used because in the book, there are techniques, and people had to be able to use those techniques and and be able to create them in their own journal. Okay, so it started in 2007, and I'm just going to read you this first entry in this book. And so it begins. The dream made manifest. The class becomes a book. The time feels perfect for this idea, as we have seen the concept of envisioning move into popular culture. Sometimes it takes a huge marketing blitz to wake people up, not mine. But y'all remember the secret? Right. Whatever it takes, all it's all right with me. The team is almost in place, meaning all the 11 artists who came on this crazy journey with me, one who you met in the last video, Mary Beth Shaw. This is becoming a true dream team, and it really was. So many of the artists are responding to the idea in a way that is so exciting to me. Many have said they use the concept in some form and have for many years. How nice that those who have shown up are the travelers, those who already journey and dance with the unconscious, who see the art of collaborating with a presence greater than we know. So, and then I have the little page notes right here. So I'm just going to scroll through this. Basically, these pages became the deck of cards, the deck of transformation that is in the book, which isn't on my, oh, here it is. Hang on my tabletop right now. So you'll be able to see right here that these became the deck of cards that are in the book that correspond to some really cool activities. Like here's expect the unexpected, and there's expect the unexpected, and this is metamorphosis, and that is metamorphosis. So they correspond to these really super cool exercises that act as prompts to help people on their creative adventure. Okay. So a lot of the book was about taking a creative adventure with milestones. Um, and here's like a little writing. As we move into the dog days of August, I'm in Oz. I look back over July. No matter how many years I've been doing this work, I still wonder at times how our days can be filled with such extremes of shadow and light occurring at the same time. In her book, The Places That Scare You, Pema Chodron would say it's that this is two sides of one coin. An interesting, only Pema could say this, an interesting, smelly, rich, fertile mess of stuff that is, when all mixed up together, it's us, our humanness. Um, Last night, artist Susan Tuttle and I had our interview. Susan was the first invited to the Artist Dream Circle to work the envisioned process. Listening to her journey during the month of July had the startling effect of bringing the book. Whoa, sorry about that. Hang on. Ooh, who's in the studio with us? Hang on there. Oh, I need a little weight back here. There we go. Good now. Oh, the little coyote trickster is about. Okay, so I had the startling effect of bringing the book to life to me, for me, which is interesting because my intention this month was all about initiation. Okay, so just going to keep going. These were some ideas for the deck. I will tell you that keeping track of 11 artists was a body of work. It was somewhat like herding cats, especially for this ADHD woman. But I don't know, like, talk about when the time is right, spirit delivers. That was me. So I will share this because I think it's super important, especially if you're considering this training. You know, life is about, I don't know, a dance with taking risks and action, right? And for me, that doesn't mean necessarily leaping off a cliff. What that has meant for me is taking calculated risks. So, you know, I am someone who in my early life hated to learn because learning was such a struggle for me. And now I love to learn. I'm a little bit of an addict if I was honest enough about it. I mean, there's so much juice out in the world now, in the realm of creativity in a way that there never was when I was coming up. You know, now it's almost like there's creativity on every corner, and amen to that, because it works to give people um, a place to be. So I got the contract and I went into a complete writer painter block for 3 months. 3 months. I literally thought I was going to have to write Northlight and say, I can't do this. I was paralyzed with fear, paralyzed. So, a dear sister friend of mine owns a yurt one mountain away. And she said, go to the yurt, spend the weekend, and see what comes forward. And that's what I did. And I found these beautiful butterfly wings. So this is, oh my gosh, when was this? Oh, I don't have that. Well, it had to be 2007. Oh, yeah, here we go, 2007, August 2007. So look at this. This is like just wax paper envelope, right? With the little wings shed no longer needed for the journey. This is a little sketch of the yurt, and I will tell you, the only book I refused to bring any books with me because I didn't want to be influenced by like other people's books. The only book I brought was a book called Soulcraft by Bill Plotkin. And it's just like this, he does adventure wisdom trainings. Like you go out and do a solo in the desert for like some time, and it's pretty intense, vision quest. And that since this was kind of my own version of a vision quest, I brought that book. And I had such an amazing experience, like dancing on the back porch, like sarong, no top in the wilds, like just please, somebody help me bring the downloads. Walking through the scrub oak and hiking on her property by myself. My dog had passed at that time, and I was all by myself, but I kept seeing these giant paw prints as I walked. And she had a big golden retriever, or yeah, golden. And the last morning, y'all, last morning, I was sitting in the rocker on the front porch, and I saw something out of the corner of my eye, like, phew, like, oh, oh, maybe that's like a dog or a coyote. And I was like, no, that felt really cat-like. And sure enough, it was a bobcat. Last morning, last hour on the property, and that felt like such a sign to me. I watched this. I mean, many of you know what nature does for me and how woven in nature is to me and this work and ritual and ceremony and all that. But that bobcat was watching that bobcat in the wild. It had caught a chipmunk and it was playing and you're doing its all bobcat stuff. And I just knew somehow that I was going to go home and it was going to be okay. And I drew cards and snakes, and I I did the sun dancer piece that I just told you about. Um, Wild women, wild hearts, setting free our soul. At the time, I had my little company called Feisty Females. And Okay, so I'm going to keep going. So this is just, this is the original book that went to the publisher. And then I had to go to the publisher. And this is the kind of the book on the cover that I altered and had to make sure they didn't use that. So yeah, I'm just going to scroll through here. Um, and some of these images will be really familiar to me. I got letters from some of the artists. Um, I got this beautiful image of Annie Oakley from the Buffalo Bill Wild Museum. They gave me the copyright to use that as well as this one, which was pretty cool. Um, this is me as a little girl, complete with skin knee. And just kind of celebrating my birthday, January 7th, 2008. And what I want you to see in this is to look at the drawings, right? So these are not drawings that are going to be in a gallery. Maybe they would be, but they're simple, wonderful ways to bring your hand into it, which for me, I became a photographer because I couldn't draw like Monet. I couldn't draw like other people in because I have this crazy spatial dyslexia, right? But these are all heartfelt, up through my soul drawings, right? Let's see. Little celebration of love. Another piece that was a contribution from one of the artists. Um, And this is when I started to kind of look for a studio space here in my town. Um, And may all the seeds planted in 2008 bloom in 2009. So this was stepping into the new year. Um, this was the beginning of an online class, the first online class that I did. And that was back in 2009, which I can't believe. Like using literally a flip phone, y'all. Do you remember those little things? And when you're in the class, you will have access to what I call the Vintage Vault, which shows some of those early classes, which are so fun because it's kind of like Super 8, the Super 8 version of video. Um, and it just kind of keeps going. So you can see that this is almost ends up being like, oh, I love this is my favorite demo. Okay. So one of the biggest things that you'll be helping people get past is this belief that there are such things as mistakes. Okay, I'm gonna have a sip of my coffee here. Um, so our dear friend Bob Ross, who bless that guy's heart, man, right? So we all know what he called them. Happy accidents, right? Happy accidents. But you can see the panic that comes up in people when they do something that they perceive to be a very unhappy accident. Oh my gosh, I've ruined it. And the thing that you want to support is don't rip it out, which is the first impulse. Don't cover it up, which is the second impulse. Keep going because there's something there. There's magic that's going to happen. So often, if I have this journal with me, I show this piece. This piece was a page that got stuck together. And when I opened it, this appeared. I kid you not, I did nothing to alter this page. And there's like a little message under here that says, trust yourself. This is a self-portrait. This is a photo transfer from my time in Italy. And, they're not beautiful. They're just what they are, right? And now I'm really, really, really seeking a place to nest and grow my wings. Um, Believe, community, collaboration, trust. This is really 10-5. Seeding that, oh no, actually it was 5-10. Seeding that intention to create a community art studio. And then this happened. So this is 2010. So we've gone in this journal from 2007, the beginnings, to 2010. This was an old elementary school here in my town. And they decided to take this and make it into a community nonprofit center. So I was on the committee banging the drum for artists who are not nonprofits who could not afford to have space in my town, even at that time. And just imagine what it's like now. Um, and so they sent out this sort of fundraising campaign card, but they didn't draw in our town mountain, which I thought was like, wow. I mean, that's like sitting like the view from this building, and that mountain is such a soul sister for all of us, right? So I drew it in myself on my card, and I started to create this page that was calling in my own studio in this building. And that year I created 50 intentions and I put those in my pocket. Okay, so here's the best story. So the building finally opens. I go in and I have a tour and I decide that I'm going to commit to this 600 square foot space that has no sink, that has, it's like I always do the make do thing. Like I can just make do and make this work. And as we were walking by the room that had this view, I said, who's taking that room? And they said the so-and-so foundation, but they just backed out. And I said these words, put my name on the lease. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to make it work. And I did. And in came a studio mate who I could never have dreamed of and was an incredible philanthropist in our valley. Thank you, George, who was a photographer who I'd known since I was, I don't know how many years we'd been friends because of our connection about photography. And he was my studio. He brought all his computers and printing stuff, and he had one half of the studio and I had the other, and we actually collaborated. Thank you, George. Okay, so it just goes on and on. And this is the one of the schedules from the studio. Home Sweet Home, 610, right? First schedule in the studio. And this is what I want you all to think about, right? When I talk to you about community art collaboration, this is what I'm talking about, okay? I am not a nonprofit. Some days I really wish I was, but I'm not. I have collaborated with many nonprofits in my area and beyond. And so in here, you'll see Creative Flow Yoga with so-and-so who came in and rented the studio for that hour. Jerry painting at the studio, Envision Dream Time. He came in and taught in my studio. Um, let's see, Roaring Fork Studio Tour. We used to have this annual event. Yoga Beats, someone else teaching at my studio. Youth Recovery, someone teaching at my studio. And, I mean, it goes on and on and on. Um, and it was really fun, a lot of work, but really, really fun. It was the early days, and I wrote here, okay, ready? 6/4/10, miracles happen. I'm sitting on the cozy couch in the new studio at the 3rd Street Center. Home, sweet home. Dream come true. A 30-year dream held in my heart is now a manifest reality. The evening has ended with our first opening as part of the Roaring Fork studio tours. I am writing in hopes of coming down from this incredible high. The reception to the room was amazing, so positive. People came in and said they dropped into a quieter space upon arrival. We had tons of traffic, lots of interest. I sold out of the 3 books I had brought of my own copies. Um, and let's see. Thank you, Goddess, God, and all my relations. Thank you. Your spirit is here with me. And and on it goes. Okay. So, all right. So that's that. I am, yeah. So this was kind of like almost the last couple pages here. Okay. All right. So to kind of close this up, I'm going to grab these. These, the dream journal kind of evolved into what I do now in an annual way, which is to create handbound dream journal, which you can see, you'll be seeing on the page that has all the information for the training. So I'm just gonna so this is all hand bound book. And this really does hold, 12 months of dreams. It's just a different way to do it for me now. And so I'll be doing this at my local, I think January 25th. I'll be having another class where I teach how to do this process. I also have an online version, but it's not up right now. Um, So why I'm showing you this is because even though, the easiest way to do this is to use the spiral bound notebooks, and that'll be really easy for your clients as well and your groups. Um, you can bring whatever you want to this process once you have the roots and the foundation. And the roots and the foundation of the training are mostly truly what is so important to me and why I take this so seriously and why it's not a self-paced, do it on your own thing, is because we have the capacity to re-injure people. And we're not doing it on purpose, of course. It's not intentional, but the slightest wrong step can close somebody up from their creative process again for a long time. And if you think to your own life, has there been a moment where someone shamed your art, shamed your creative process, shamed your dreams, shamed your vision, told you it wasn't possible? And so for some of you, the cost of the class is going to be like, I can't do this. And I appreciate that. However, it's an investment not only in your future, but it's an investment in knowing how to hold this work and feel so grounded and confident as a facilitator because we're going to be mashing it up and sharing our work and sharing what it is that's come forward for us in our own process of self-discovery. And the last 4 weeks of the training, you're going to be taking this into the world, right? So you're going to be identifying a group. I don't care if it's 5 friends, 4 friends, 6 friends of yours. And you're going to identify your group that you're going to take through the training process for 4 weeks. And then we're going to be doing, like a mentorship where you're going to be coming in to share your celebrations and share how you've thrived and then share your challenges. And some of you have watched the video with Annie, the Creative Awakenings amazing nomad who did her apprenticeship in the desert of Arizona out of her school bus and a tent. And the reason the apprenticeship piece, the practicum, is so important to me is because I didn't get that really. Well, first of all, I never went to school for this, right? I went to school for social work and photography. But even in my social work supervision, which was just straight up clinical because it was way back in the day, yeah, I was supervised and watched and blah, blah, blah. But once I got that degree, I was like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to go out in the world and be responsible for people's mental health. It was terrifying to me. And most training programs that I've been through give you the goods and then they end. But what I've learned in this process is the importance of doing the process yourself, walking the path, understanding your own inhibitions, your own um, inner critics, your own blocks, your own core beliefs, your own self-limiting beliefs, moving past that, in the process, understanding what your clients and groups and community members might feel and likely will feel, and then going out in the world to practice, knowing you're totally supported by the group and by me while you're doing it. So, um, that's that. Would love for you to take the next step. The application process is now open with this video. Um, if this is of interest to you, take a step, you know, take a step, apply. You never know what's going to happen. Let go of the outcome, right? Take a journey for yourself, capital SELF. Take a journey for yourself. Okay? That's it. All right. The official program launches January 7th. Celebration of my 65th year. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to schedule a discovery call, hold on. Here's the link. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for considering. Um, Happy New Year. May 2025 bring us all peace and joy. Let's call in the light, y'all. Let's create together some creative evolution. Be well.